welcome along to Britain's #1 news channel. Yes, there you are. But anyway, oh gosh, didn't realise he was looming over me. Well, in a way, that is what he's doing, isn't it? Actually, so Britain feels a bit like a dictatorship led by Sir Keir Starmer's Stasi. The government set up a special monitoring unit. What people say about illegal immigration, two-tier policing, and then reported that to social media companies like TikTok. So in short, really, they have been spying on you, and they're trying to silence you for speaking out. Now, during the summer disorder, Sir Keir Starmer did try to silence people by basically calling everyone a racist.
I won't shy away from calling it what it is. Far-right thuggery. Calling for inquiries because they want to jump on a bandwagon of the far right.
He put huge pressure on judges to lock people up for a long time, like Lucy Connolly, who received a longer prison sentence than some people involved in the Pakistani rape scandal.
400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are already in court. And I'm now expecting substantive sentencing before the end of this week. That should send a very powerful message to anybody involved, either directly or online.
We have had police knocking on people's doors for writing a Facebook post about local councillors.
Is it Helen? Helen from the police.
And now it's emerged that a secret department called the National Security and Online Information Team has been looking at posts about migrant hotels and immigration and been trying to get them censored. One post that they flagged showed a picture of a street in Manchester with the caption, "That looks more like Islamabad than Manchester." Well, you know, there is a place in Manchester literally called the Curry Mile, which has its own Wikipedia page, everything. But apparently that post could have, quote, incited fear into the Muslim community. And they reported that to social media to try and get it taken down. I think this is very sinister. And the man responsible for the department that's been doing it is Peter Kyle. You don't want to mispronounce that name. It's Peter Kyle. He's currently accused of trying to censor everyone with the Online Safety Act. And he's trying to silence anyone who disagrees with that act by saying they are on the side of paedophiles.
I see that Nigel Farage is already saying that he's going to overturn these laws. If people like Jimmy Savile were alive today, he'd be perpetrating his crimes online. And Nigel Farage is saying that he's on their side.
Actually, so far, the Act has blocked articles about immigration. It even blocked an article that had a funny picture of Sir Keir Starmer as a baby, which is on the screens there in front of you. That was blocked by the Online Safety Act. You were not allowed to see that. It's mental. Look, we all know why they're doing this, don't we? They're going to keep busing in illegal migrants. They're going to keep up with the rate of demographic change. They're going to keep telling you that you need to pay more tax. And they worry that the British public is finally waking up and fighting back, and they can't let that happen. Well, tough. OK, so let's crack on. Now, I want to go... Who do I go to first? Gawain, I'll go to you first on this, my good man. What do you make of this, the fact that basically the government's been spying on us and trying to hide it?
Well, the funniest thing I think I saw over the last day or two about this was the Labour minister, I think Diane Johnston, who on GBNews said, there's absolutely none of this. It's not happening at all. It's not happening at all. But we do agree with the police should be doing it. It's not happening, but we should be doing it. Literally, the next sentence. The cognitive dissonance amongst this crowd is astonishing. And the fact is, yes, they are. This was a unit that was set up to put pressure on people over COVID. It went into a little bit of mothball and it's been brought back to put pressure on people just using their eyes.
Christopher?
It's awful.
It's not cognitive dissonance, it's incredibly low intelligence is what it is. Because I'm sorry, these people... I'm really angry about this. I'm really angry, right, that we have this ridiculous culture of safetyism. Oh, you might hear an opinion you don't like. Oh, my God, you'll shatter. Something terrible will happen if you hear something. Oh, it'll incite some sort of terrible violence. You poor things. Well, firstly, we're able to hear opinions we don't like. And do you know how we know we're able to hear opinions we don't like? Because anyone who disagrees has just been called a paedophile. That's how we know we hear opinions we don't like. And the thing that annoys me about that is that I genuinely, and I said this earlier in the week, and I'll say it again, I'm so worried about where debate is going in this country and the extremes that people are going to when it comes to debate. You know, you're either pro or anti, you are left or right. There's no middle ground. And I think online that happens an awful lot. And the way you solve problems is to have reasonable conversations and middle ground, and you try and agree. And so for this idiot minister, Peter Kyle, to call everyone paedophiles, I mean, that's the kind of extremist language you get from the far right, just the opposite. And so he's an idiot, he's a moron, these people are stupid. And that other one, I'm sorry.
He's also not here to defend himself, so, you know.
Absolutely awful. What was her name? She sounds like a low-budget airline. Tangam Debonair. Did you see her?
Tangam Debonair.
Like this, people in the conversation, sort of down her nose at people who disagree with her. These people are awful. They are destroying conversation and debate and free speech. They are for the dustbin.
Just before I come to Jane, do people in this room, do you feel as though your free speech is more under threat than it's been in the past? Is that a genuine thing?
Yes.
People do, yeah. People are worried about it. You know, think it's a little bit excessive from the government. It's a very good thing. I'll get the microphone to you in a second. However, I want to go to this chap on the front row first. Hello. What would you like to say? I hope you're all right as well.
I'd like to ask the question: can the panel explain really how the national security resources have been used to monitor public opinion online? We're very familiar with the whole two-tier policing. I mean, as a sitting councillor in Basildon Borough Council, my data was breached internally just last week. And when I tried to report this to Gary Jones, the chief executive of Basildon Borough Council, I was escorted out of the building. Now, something like this, okay, which is incredible to be honest, it's why is it okay for Labour and the sitting government to be able to stop this sort of information going out, and why for sitting councillors maybe of Reform UK to have it on the opposite side?
Well, look, I'll go just again to say, it's not that I disbelieve you at all, obviously, but there are certain people that have been named there who we've not had the opportunity to go to a right of reply for. We don't know what they would say to it, so there we go. But fair enough. I think the overall point there is one that's worth discussion. You know, does it feel as though people are being censored here, basically?
Absolutely, and I think those people on the right, if they came to my house, they'd find a lot of Brexity things. You remember the police were looking for Brexity things. They'd also, if they looked at my social media, find a lot of questioning about levels of immigration, about the right to asylum. There's a lot of things, I say, that would fall under this. Two-tier is one of the terms that they're looking for. I think Labour knows that they have completely lost all hope of controlling small boats, and they are anticipating the public anger becoming worse and worse and worse. And this is part of their attempt to keep a lid on public anger, and it won't succeed.
OK. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. OK. All right, look, some of the more sinister aspects to this for me were, again, you know, this idea that they were going to say they clamped down on you if you dared to mention two-tier policing. But then this is a weird thing in itself, isn't it? Like, if you mention two-tier policing, that's so bad that they then have to employ a secret spy unit to find what you're saying and then report you to social media. What is it about this Labour government that hates free speech,
Well,
Stephen?
Patrick, let's get a couple of things straight. It can't be that secret if everybody knows about it. But the other thing...
It came out in a leak.
Hang on a second. I don't know whether you used to get the special branch briefings, but I mean, there's a unit in GCHQ that's been monitoring the People's Mail for about 50 years, looking for words like Islam and bombing and, you know, jihad and things like that.
Yeah.
And fair play to it. I think I'm quite...
Not things like two-tier. Not words like two-tier.
Yeah, well, no, hang on a second. But let's get to this actual thing that what we're actually talking about at the present time. I think the online safety bill is a very sensible piece of legislation that could be misused in some particular ways, as in the case of Katie Lamb, the MP who was quoted in the House of Commons. But the most important thing here is that I think the Conservatives and the Labour Party have both made a terrible mistake about playing the man and not the ball. The Conservatives attacked Keir Starmer for when he was Director of Public Prosecutions, saying that he didn't prosecute Jimmy Savile. We'd never had the opportunity to prosecute.
Yes, he did.
And he apologised. And Nigel Farage is most certainly not on the side of the late Jimmy Savile. No question.
I do have to correct the record. I'm sorry, I've got to correct the record. That there was a year when Sir Keir Starmer was both head of the DPP and head of the CPS, whilst Jimmy Savile was being investigated, and Sir Keir Starmer claims that case did not come across his desk. I find that very, very hard to believe. A lot of people find it hard to believe. But however, there we go.
Disprove it. The most famous man in Britain. If something landed on your office desk with a celebrity.
All right, let's go to this lady in the audience here. Can you stand up for me, please? Is that all right? Sorry, thank you very much. Just to go on, drag us back kicking and screaming to the actual original topic here, which is basically being spied on, aren't we?
We've had a classic example of it this week where law-abiding, peaceful demonstrations in Epping were accused of being far-right.
Yep.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous. You know, these were women, grandmothers, mothers like me, who were worried about the safety of their girls, their daughters, their granddaughters. And to call them far right was despicable.
I'll tell you what, the lady there is proving more popular than me, actually, I think, at the minute. We might have to get you...
Have her removed.
Come and take the seat.
We might have to get you on the panel at some point, but that's a great point. And Krista, we've got this culture of trying to silence people by calling them ridiculous names, and then you get called a conspiracy theorist, don't you? This is a conspiracy that's turned out to be true. And
it's just it's now gone into overdrive. It used to be we'll shut you down by calling you a racist. It used to be we'll shut you down by calling you a sexist, a homophobe, a transphobe. Now you're far right. Now you're a paedophile. Like, when is this going to end? Because it's just going to. What's so stupid is that it's just actually going to drive people to the very extremes that they claim they don't want people to go to. Because they're going to be driven to people who actually are saying what is being unsaid, who perhaps have bad intention, because genuine debate is being stifled.
But should Peter Kyle not resign over this? I mean, he's made an absolute horlicks of this Online Safety Act. He's basically mugged himself off by parroting a Number 10 line that Nigel Farage on the side
which
of
Number 10 knew about.
Which they told him to do. And then now you've got... It turns out his department has been talking about... has been spying on us and doing all of that.
You're absolutely right. Stupid. Just stupid. And the fact that Number 10 pulled the Jimmy Savile line and pushed the Jimmy Savile line is astonishing, because it allowed people then to pick up on Starmer's behaviour. But one basic thing... and you were talking about saying the Online Safety Bill is a good thing and all the rest of it. Maybe we all care about what about the children? But that term, won't somebody think about the children, is used for almost every single destruction of our civil liberties. Oh, somebody's got to think about the children. I have a friend who sent me this morning. They were actually thinking about the children because they went onto the Maltesers website to buy some Maltesers. They had to age verify to go and look at Maltesers on the bloody internet.
It's
mad.
They probably thought it was teasers. They probably some dodgy.
No, it was definitely Maltesers. Multi-goodness.
I'm sorry, but I cannot stand it when someone like Peter Kyle comes out and says, think about the kids. Labour weren't thinking about the kids when they didn't want a national inquiry into the Pakistani rape gang. Labour are not thinking about the children when we are importing sometimes 900 or 1,000 men across the channel every single day and putting them in hotels next to primary schools. You know, how dare that guy stand up and start going, oh, please protect the kids. You're on the side of paedophiles. I'm sorry, some of the Labour policies appear to me to be very much on the side of some very dodgy people.
And what do you said about Nigel
You can't mean that.
But do you remember when Boris in the House of Commons mentioned Jimmy Savile to Keir Starmer, and everyone went absolutely ballistic? Peter Kyle is not getting the same level of...
Of course he's not, because he's on the left.
It's outrageous. And also, by the way, none of those Epping protests were taking place when the hotel was full of families. It was when the hotel was going to be taken over by solely men. So what, did these people suddenly wake up and go, oh, well, I'm far right now, I don't like men? Of course not.
I'm thinking about I think the difference is, it is who said it. Peter Kyle said it, he's Labour. And anyhow, it's also the victim, to a certain extent. I wouldn't say Farage is a victim, because it's not the way he is. He just doesn't do victim. However, oh, well, it's Farage. It's OK to insult Farage because he's on the right.
Yeah.
It's not just who said it, it's who they said it to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there are certain things that were considered beyond the pale. And what a lot of people on the left used to do was clutch their pearls whenever anyone like Boris Johnson or Nigel Farage said something. But number 10, so this week, just think about this, it's been revealed that the government was spying on your tweets and trying to get them taken down, right, with a secret department. And number 10 sanctioned an attack line on Nigel Farage, essentially calling him a paedophile, right? That's the level of discourse that we've got to now. So just quickly and finally, Stephen, just on this, do they have to hang their heads in shame in it? What do they have to do? I mean, they've got to stop. The trust has gone, hasn't it, now, between us and the government, surely?
Well, I think, to be honest, the trust has gone between politicians and the public. It's pretty far gone down the line. It's going to take a long time for us to row back to... I can't remember. I mean, when I was a kid, doctors and priests and politicians were looked up. MP used to stand for man of principle. It's a big issue. It's beyond the Labour Party. But on this particular one, I think Peter Carr... I've known Peter Carr. He's fundamentally a decent bloke. I think he's made an absolute rick of it here. And I think he needs to actually put his hand up and admit it.
Well, that's all that Farage asked for, was an apology. Yeah. He didn't ask for legal stuff.
Fair enough.
Just an apology.
OK, well, we're gonna crack on. Who in this audience would describe themselves as working class? Yeah, fair few people describe themselves as working class. Good stuff. There you go. Yeah, that's someone at work. It's all right. Don't worry.
Working from studio. Working from studio.